Welcome, this is Shakti Carola Nevran, and I'm an evolutionary astrologer doing all these forecasts for you. And my intention is to get you settled, to get you prepared for what's to come. Because as an astrologer doing this for 40 years, I know astrology is real. I know there are certain frequencies and influences we have to face. But what I don't know, will it be on the low end side of possibilities and manifestations? Or will it be on the high-end side of possibilities and manifestations? So the key how we can move up the ladder of consciousness is the awareness we hold for what's happening and the choices, conscious choice. So I would like to give you that with this preparation. And it's also a nice way to contemplate and be aware of who you are in the world and what you have to bring to the table and your unique gifts. And in general, these forecasts are really for you to have food for your thoughts, to help you to flower. And then, of course, if you want to get more specific, then you want to have a look at your individual birth chart. And that's a very powerful way, and it can change your life to have a good birth chart reading. So anyway, today I want to talk about the lunar eclipse, which is always a full moon, and it's happening in Leo at 22 degrees, 28 minutes, something like that, on February 10th. So as I have discussed in my weekly forecast, we will have the whole month Sun in Aquarius, and a full moon by definition is the Sun is here, the moon is fully exposed to the light and reflecting the light back. So the moon in astrology symbolizes, the moon astrology symbolizes our emotional filter and the tides we all have going inside of us. And the Sun is symbolizing our consciousness, our identity, and how we filter mentally. So the moon's journey throughout the month starts with the new moon, which was in Aquarius, of course, and then it kind of comes to its highest point of consciousness, of bringing together the emotional, the inner world, the belly and the head. And so the full moon exposes inner feelings, inner awareness, inner needs, inner longings. So the moon in your birth chart is a very important symbol in your chart, because it really tells us what you need in order to feel safe, and what you have to give in the way of nurturing and nourishing other people, and what you need in order to feel happy and joyful. So by following the moon cycles throughout the months, you will have these little bit more than 2 days of actualizations, and depending on where that's happening in your chart, with some full moons you will be more strongly impacted than with others. So with the eclipses it's kind of the same. Even if eclipse, lunar or solar eclipse, is a very powerful event, and you can think about it like when your computer is acting up and you shut it down and you reboot it, often things righten themselves. So I think of eclipses as a rebooting of the system. So there is a strong interference, a strong change in how those forces, sun and moon, the luminaries up there, how they interact. So and with that there is a new start and a new light available. So with the lunar eclipse, the sun is here, the earth is here, the moon is here. So the earth is in between, interrupting the flow of the light to the moon, and with that there is this new start, that idea of starting out with a new cycle, a new light. And other astrologers say that the eclipses and how they touch you in your chart is really strongly as an energy in your field for half a year. I haven't been able to verify that in my own experience, but nevertheless I do know, and I'm very aware that the lunar eclipse I do feel emotionally, I feel very strongly. So in general you could say all planets you have between 19 degrees of any sign, and let's say 25, that's kind of a wide orbit, but if you have any planets there, Sun, Moon, Ascendant especially, but also other planets, you will feel more strongly impacted by this lunar eclipse. But even if it doesn't trigger something in your own chart representing your personality and all the dynamics in you, so even if it's not really pushing in, we all get an overall feel, we all get an overall glow of what this lunar eclipse brings us in the way of certain potentials. So by knowing what it is about, you can become proactive, and the forces of the universe will be in your back. So I don't know if you remember the Star Wars, and Yoda, the spiritual teacher, the force will be with you. So I'm always kind of get a giggle out of that. But it's true, if we know what we are about and we know what the outer influences are, we have a much higher chance to really step it up and thrive and manifest where we want to take things. So the full moon, which is also the lunar eclipse, so especially powerful, is happening in Leo. So Leo, the sign of the king and the queens. So Leo symbolizes in the chart our evolution when we are ready to shine, when we're ready to step onto the stage of life, bring our unique spark and self-expression to the table. So it's a sign where it's a lot about creativity. It can be artistic creativity, but it can also be that you create a company or a business or an idea you birth. So these are all creative manifestations, as well as having a child. I would say that's kind of the ultimate creative act. Life creates life in you. I mean, how awesome is that? So that's why we also relate Leo to children, and the playfulness and the joy. So in astrology, when we look at a person who has a lot of planets in Leo, we know on the low end side there might be wrangling with egocentricity and me, but remember, all signs can be high end or low end. But the high end of Leo is so wonderful, that creative self-expression, stepping it up, being a leader, shining their light. So right now we're all invited to that. So we're all invited to really tap into our own creative divine source. And if you have been following me, you know I'm talking about the wave, we all being an individual wave in the ocean. And I have to have a clock here, so I'm not talking too much and too long. So, so the wave in the ocean, the top of the wave is our sense of identity, which relates back to the sun. The belly of the wave relates to the moon, and that's 90 to 95%, as Carl Jung was describing it. And that I relate to the moon. And then the ocean the wave is coming out of is the collective, the morphogenetic field, the divine, all that is, ultimate consciousness. So I really like and think it's very powerful to think of ourselves as an individual, as a wave in the ocean, because we really get it. Yes, we are an individual wave, but by definition the wave is a part of the ocean. So you are the ocean, you are the divine, you're part of all that is. And this is our heritage, this is really who we are. So it's really good to remember that. So in evolutionary astrology, when we look at Leo energy, I know from the karmic perspective that you came in with the need to learn something about dignity, self-expression, creativity, shining your light, and even more, not more, but also as important is the ability to learn about joy and fun and learning to enjoy life and do things for fun. And when we have children, I think they teach us a lot about that, how we can go about it, and we can really learn how to play and be joyfully in the moment with children. So I think that's where the connection with Leo is. Well, with everything going on in the world and in this country, and with all the Mars and Aquarian activations I have been talking about for quite a while now, and especially this week, the Leo moon gives us heart, gives us back some kind of centeredness, some kind of power. We know if we join together our forces in a peaceful, kind, heartfelt way, we can make a difference in the world. And I think that's a reminder of this lunar eclipse, that we care for each other, we nurture each other, we shine our individual light, and we come together to build an even stronger lightful impact onto the world. So this lunar eclipse is also in an interesting structure, like a trigon, or trine, it's in English. Sorry, I'm sometimes mixing English and German words here. Trine. So Moon here, Uranus there, Saturn there. So a trine is a so-called harmonious aspect, and aspects are energetic connections. There's like channels where energies flow back and forth between what the symbols symbolize. So in the bigger picture, it's always about integration between those principles and what they want to manifest. So Uranus, the ruler of Aquarius, where the sun is in, so that's the underlying current for the whole month, with a lot of rebellious and revolutionary energies. We don't take things laying down, but we have to be smart about how we're going to go about it. And violence, to pit violence against violence, war against war, never works out. But if we look into history, if we look at Mahatma Gandhi, then we know that smart, peaceful, long-term plans and resistance can make a difference, can even kick another country out of your country, as India proved. So the Uranus trining that moon brings in that fresh emotional energy. Yes, we can make a difference. Yes, we have a passion. Yes, we want to move forward. And we want to live in a world which is helpful and useful and supportive for all of us. And then on the other end there was Saturn. Saturn, the elder, the wise one, the one who applies certain rules and energies and climbs the mountain and does the work. So again, here's the invitation to do the work, to do the groundwork. And the grassroots is what ultimately will change the situation in any political landscape. So I think that's what's going to become really clear with this lunar eclipse, because our heart, our emotional body won't take it laying down. And I think that's wonderful and good news. Okay, you guys, if you have any questions, make sure you like my video if you like it, and leave me a comment. And if you want me to keep you in the loop with these kind of special forecasts, you want to sign up for my newsletter on my website, mauiastrologyreading.com, where you of course also can connect with me about an individual reading. And if you have any comments or questions, I promise I will get back to you. And whatever I can help you and understand more deeply, I answer questions, and I'd like to have this exchange, because I don't have the feeling I'm just talking into that empty space. So for me it's really important to know what I'm doing, which is actually a lot of work, is really helpful and makes a difference in somebody's life. So let me hear about it, get back to me, and we have a little conversation here. Okay, so as always, put your head on, hold it on with both of your hands. And in the way of gemstones, you know, I always like to use gemstones as a supporting tool to focus our mental energies, to meditate with, to balance my own energy body. So for that, Leo stone, I mean, there are several, but I especially like the ruby. So these are ruby crystals. just different kinds. This one is a slice from a bigger crystal. So, I mean, you know rubies, and ruby is such a nice Leo stone because it really brings up the energy from the first chakra to the heart chakra. So this is where the expression needs to happen, how we connect with the world in a benign and supportive and loving and nurturing way, which is nurturing and joyful for us if we're able to do that. So the ruby, often we have a ring or something with a ruby in it. That's a wonderful piece of jewelry to wear during this time. If you have crystals like I do, it's a good thing to meditate with them. Just put them on your third eye. Or of course it's a stone which relates actually to the heart chakra. So you can always find out more about a gemstone by putting it on your third eye or putting it on the chakra it is specifically relating to. So play around with ruby. Let me know if you have one and what your experiences are. So I'm still collecting experiences. I have written a whole book about it, but I never stop learning and taking in more information. So if you're interested in an introduction to astrology and the gemstones angle, I have a book. It's called Jewelry and Gems for Self-Discovery, and that book, it's kind of upside down, but you get an idea. That book will teach you how you can use certain gemstones to support planets in your chart. So there's so much more to birthstones and what the jewelers guilds tell you. This is your birthstone for the month. They're no astrologers. They don't really know about the healing qualities of gemstones. So I think it's just a marketing thing, a very smart one they came up with. But if you really want to work with healing qualities and the true frequencies of the gemstones, then you want to get your gemstone profile, as I call it. It's a report I created where you get a 22 pages report where I describe one gemstone for you for each of your planets. So if you haven't done that yet, you might want to grab it. You can find out all about that on my website, Maui Astrology Reading. So say hi. Tell me where you are, who you are, what your sun sign is, whatever you want to share. So all the best, have a wonderful lunar eclipse, and as we say here on Maui,